I feel the Spirit moving in me. I feel the Spirit moving in me.
A kindergarten Sunday school teacher was working hard to get her class to focus on the story of Jesus and Jesus' birth and to stop thinking about Santa Claus. Can you imagine? She read every story over and over to them, and for good measure, taught them how to sing Silent Night. Finally, she asked them to draw their own images of Christmas. One youngster did a great job of drawing the baby in a manger. This is a similar picture with Mary and Joseph and the animals and the snowman beside the manger. And the teacher asked Johnny, "That isn't Santa, is it?" And Johnny answered indignantly, "Of course not. That's round John Virgin." Oh my goodness. So today we're celebrating Advent. Advent is kind of a monthly journey of preparing our consciousness for the birth of our Christ presence, which we're metaphysically celebrating with our service next Sunday on Christmas. And so Advent's kind of preparing us, getting us ready, opening ourselves to this fullest potential that's within us so that we can bring it forth into awareness. It's a metaphorical journey, a metaphysical journey that we celebrate by acknowledging the steps of faith, hope, peace, today, love, and then next Sunday with Christmas, the joy of the birth that happens within us. And when we come to that place that we fully understand the truth of who we are and we experience that, act as, be that in the world. Well, Timmy was in Miss Thompson's elementary school class, and his mother had died recently, and Christmas was almost here. And Miss Thompson walked into her classroom and piled up on her desk are all these amazing gifts. And she is so happy, and the children are sitting on the floor in front of her, as those of us who have taught elementary school have the children spread out in front of you, and they're all excited for the teacher to open their gifts. And in the midst of all of these beautifully wrapped gifts is a wrinkled paper sack. So Mrs. Thompson begins to open her gifts, and she opens some, and then she looks at this wrinkled bag and she thinks, certainly that's from Timmy. I wonder what it is. So she looks in the bag and she pulls out a rhinestone necklace, and she's like, oh, okay. She sets it down, and then she reaches in and she pulls out an old used bottle of cheap perfume and sets that on her desk. And then she says, oh, I guess I'd better try some of the perfume. So she puts it on and dabs it on her arms and puts a necklace on and says to Timmy, Timmy, this is so lovely. Thank you for these amazing gifts. And later on that day, Timmy said, you know, you smell just like my mother. When Timmy passed from the first grade, Miss Thompson didn't see or hear from him for years. Then one day he received a letter that said, Dear Miss Thompson, I wanted you to know I'm graduating second in my class. A few years later, she got another letter that said, Miss Thompson, I want you to know that I'm graduating first in my class this time. I just wanted to let you know. Love, Timmy. More time passed until another note arrived, and it said, "Miss Thompson, I'm graduating." Timmy, Stollard, MD. I want you to be the first to know. Since my dad passed away last year, I hope you can come to my graduation because you're the only family I have left. Wow. Love is one of the most transforming powers in the universe. You know, we often articulate love as with emotion, with feeling, and relate it to the people that we love. But Charles Fillmore, Unity's co-founder, had a different way of thinking about love. And this is what he said about it. Being the scientist and the researcher that he was, he wrote, "Gravity is mortal man's name for love. By the invisible arms of love, we are held tight to the earth's prolific bosom." Right? So love isn't just a concept and emotion. It's the attracting energy in the universe. You know, love is what brought Timmy and Mrs. Thompson together. Love is that connection that they shared for years. Jesus said it this way in John 10:30. He wrote, "The Father and I are one," quoting Jesus. And I think it's interesting that one in Greek means unity, right? It means that we are one unified beings, right? That God is the energy, that love is the energy that is everywhere in the universe. I like to think that, oh, there's a picture of the universe in case you haven't seen it recently. I like to think that love, that the same relentless energy which keeps us connected to the planet Earth and maintains the orbits of all the celestial bodies and keeps us unified with the source, with the one source. And maybe you've noticed when challenges happen in our lives, it's easy for us to believe that we are separated from the universe, that we're separated from each other, that we're separated from this energy of love that we call God. But however, we can never really be separate. We can feel separate, but we can never be separated from the presence of God that's everywhere in the universe. You know, when there are differences between people, when people do hurtful things, it can be difficult to find the unity in that. Ever experienced that? You know, when we are angry with someone or disappointed with someone, when our emotions of anger and resentment show up, it can be difficult to feel that connection, wouldn't you say? If you're honest, right? I love what Jesus said in the last moments of his life. He said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. What he's saying is the person is not the enemy. Ignorance is the enemy. Because if we all knew and if we all believed and we all acted as if we are in unity, that we are one, we wouldn't be so ignorant to hurt each other. So ignorance is the enemy, not the person. You know, when we criticize or condemn or talk negatively about our world reacts to us. How does our world react? It acts in the same way that we tell it to, right? We tell our world how to react to us. We tell people how to react to us. We show them by the way we treat ourselves, by the way we treat other people. We say to them, this is how you can treat me. Ignorance is the enemy. Sometimes the ignorance, it happens two ways. It happens in the person that hurts us, and it also happens in us because we take it personally. So ignorance it can be a two-edged sword. Something happens, somebody does something wrong, and they behave a certain way, and then their actions cause us to take it personally because we are ignorant in the moment of the truth of who we are. You know, we fight fire with fire, but it usually results in everybody getting burned, right? We say we take an eye for an eye, and it turns out everybody is blind. Imagine how the world would be if we remembered that we were connected to everyone all the time. What if we remembered that we're connected to Source all the time? What if we remembered that we're connected to love all the time? And instead of reacting when something happens, what if we could just go, oh, it's a reminder. It's a reminder that I am one with the universe. It's a reminder of the presence of God. This person who appears to be hurting me is really an angel reminding me that I am connected to everything. And I don't have to react out of that anger. Imagine what would have happened if Mrs. Thompson had responded to appearances. What if she threw aside that wrinkled bag? What if she treated the gifts that were in there with deep respect or with lack of respect? What if she treated that brown, wrinkly bag as a brown, wrinkly bag instead of honoring the giver, honoring Timmy for being who he was? You know, this is a divine moment in her life and in Timmy's life because she got to respond in love. And Timmy's gift to her was greater than the rhinestone necklace or the perfume. It was a gift of love, true, powerful love from him. And he gave her the opportunity to respond in love with a sense of unity instead of separation. And her gift of love to him went beyond acceptance and graciousness. It was life transforming. Because she got to share with him the love that he couldn't get in this same way from his mother at his graduation from his father. You know, too often opportunities go by unnoticed and are dismissed when we too have opportunities to love, to show up as love, to respond in love instead of separation. You know, and in the same way, when someone is abusive to us, we don't have to tolerate that abuse. You know, we're not talking about a love that is going to accept someone else's abuse. When something happens, we need to stand up and say, you know what, you can't treat me that way. You can't say this to me, or you can't do this to me. Again, we got to remember that the enemy is ignorance and not the person. Ignorance requires information, retraining, and enlightenment. And so, how can we bring the gift of love in that situation? How can we help enlighten this other person? And they might not be in a place to understand the spiritual concept, but what they can understand is the way that we respond, to respond in love. John wrote, God is love. Love is a divine principle, and the presence, the love, the creative energy is the source. God is love, and we can be loving. And we can let the love flow through us wherever we are, whatever we're doing. We get to call upon that love. Is it easy? Not always. But it's we're in the earth school of training how to live spiritual lives. Nothing has ever changed in this world until someone looked beyond appearances, looked within and saw a dream, found inspiration, and then demonstrated the courage to bring it out into the light of day and make a difference. And I believe that's what we are called to do, to recognize that dream, that truth within us, and then every moment to bring that essence out, to be that presence, to be an inspiration, to be a healing essence in the world. So, will you open to divine love? Yeah. Someone says, I'm already open to divine love. And it's kind of like peeling the onion. You know, we get to constantly open more and open more and open more. And when something rubs against us the wrong way, just say, oh, love, that's who I am. That's who I want to be. Love, love. And to open to divine love requires insight. Or said another way, requires insight. It means to be aware of what's going on in here and have that insight. And that's where, as we know, transformation comes from, by being insightful. To take when something happens and go, I'm going to remember that. I'm going to be insightful. I'm going to look within and realize, what is it within me that wants to be love in this moment? You know, that the desire really, or the work really, is to look beyond the personality. Right? We all have personality, right? Have you noticed? And you have personality, and the people that we get to love have personality. But sometimes we need to look beyond the personality, because the personality is often where the first reaction comes from. It could be fear or doubt or whatever it might be. So our job is to look beyond the personality. When someone says or does strikes us, to remember to look beyond that, to know that's not the truth of who they are. They're just ignorant in the moment. And we get to be the first example and move beyond that ignorance and to behold them with love. So our affirmation today is, and let's say it together, as I open to divine love, I become the love I seek. And another part of that is, I think it's so amazing to share that truth with each other, So I'd like you to turn to somebody else and say to them, as you open to divine love, you become the love you seek. Let's do that together. As you open to. Or then look across the room and find somebody else and say it to somebody else together. Thank you. So, when is a wrinkled brown paper bag not a wrinkled brown paper bag? That's up to you. So, someone wrote, "The grace and the good are many, but he who loves with such a love that through his love some other soul has scaled the heights and there seen what eternal life holds in store for man, has made the noblest gift of all. And then give me that love. Give me that love." Say that with me. Give me that love. And I want to end with a story. It's kind of a lengthy story, but hang with me. I think it's a beautiful story for Christmas. "It's time," my sister whispered, and I was instantly awake, my heart pounding frantically in my chest. It was 4 a.m., and I wondered how I could ever have slept so late. After all, it's Christmas morning. I should have been awake hours ago. We crept down the hall as quickly as we could and as quietly as we could. In the back of our house, our parents slept peacefully. I've been waiting for this all year, marking off the days of my calendar as they passed one by one. I watched every Christmas special on TV, from Charlie Brown to Rudolph, and now that Christmas morning was finally here, I could hardly contain myself. I wanted to laugh, I wanted to play, and perhaps most of all, I wanted to rip open my presents. As we approached the den, my sister put a single finger to her lips and whispered, "Shh, Santa might still be here." I nodded with complete understanding. At 6, I knew all about Santa and his magic. At 11, my sister was trying to give me my dream. When we finally walked into the den, my first instinct was to rush toward the presents that were stacked oh so carefully around the room. But something made me hesitate. Instead of rushing forward, I stared in wonder at the room, wanting this single moment to last as long as it could. My sister stood quietly beside me, and we stared at the beautiful tree that we had decorated so carefully just a week ago. The lights shimmered, the ornaments sparkled, and our golden angel sat just a little off center on the top of the tree. It was the most beautiful sight I'd ever seen. On a nearby table, the cookies we had left for Santa were there, and a small note read, "Thank you. Merry Christmas, Santa." My eyes widened in amazement at the note, for I was sure that I finally had proof that of the jolly old man's existence. Yet before I could truly marvel over the letter, my sister was handing me a small package. "It's from me," she whispered. With trembling hands, I slowly opened the package, carefully preserving the green bow. Inside, I found my sister's favorite necklace. It was a small heart on a golden chain. She had received the present from our grandfather 2 years before. My eyes filled with the sight. Santa's note was forgotten. She put her arms around me. "He was going to give this one to you this year. He was going to give you one like this year." And she slowly wiped her eyes. He just didn't get a chance. He had died on Easter morning. The heart attack had been a harsh shock to our family. Our mother still cried quietly when she thought no one was watching. My sister squared her slender shoulders and with a brave air said, "So, I thought you might like to have mine." I held the necklace as if it were made of the finest gold in the world. It seemed to shine even brighter than the lights on our tree. "Let me help you," she said, and she moved to put the necklace around my neck. The small heart felt warm against my skin, almost like it was alive. In my mind, I could see my grandfather. He loved Christmas, and he had always given each of us a special surprise on Christmas Day. Consider this, his surprise. My sister told me as if she read my mind. I grabbed her hand and held on to her with all the strength I possessed. When our parents finally made it into the den 2 hours later, they saw a beautiful Christmas tree, a dozen open gifts, and two sisters holding each other tight. The source of our love, the source of love is within you. As we love ourselves and each other unconditionally, we become love generators. We become the love we seek, and we attract loving relationships and situations to us. The love you seek is the glow of divine love that is within you. There's a new birth taking place right now. Right now in your consciousness, as you embrace love today, as you embrace love this week, you begin to open to your Christ self. So I invite you this week to embrace that love, to spend time loving, celebrating this season. Spend time loving and recognize that this amazing birth that we call the birth of Jesus is symbolic for that birth of your Christ self, which is now being birthed in your consciousness. As I open to divine love, I become the love I seek. Let's say that together. As I open to divine love, I become the love I seek. Well, at this time, I invite you to prepare your tithes and your love offerings. As you just feel the love, yeah, as you prepare them, and feel the love for the gift that you get to share this morning. And as you bring it out and prepare it, think of someone that you love. It could be a person that's alive now, or it could be someone that has passed beyond this realm. It could be even an animal. Certainly, we love our animals. And just as you prepare this gift, think of the love that this being has shared with you and given you the opportunity to experience love. Just breathe into that and feel that love. Imagine that this gift that you're giving is a manifestation of this love that you're sharing with us, and we are accepting it lovingly, blessing it, and it moves in and through and as us as this love. So as we hold our gifts, let us pray and affirm our prosperity blessing, which we'll say together. Through a grateful, giving heart, my mind and life overflow with the abundance of God's all-providing, infinite supply. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you, loving Spirit, for these gifts that have come to us in love. We hold them, we bless them, we give thanks for them, knowing that they are moving in and through and as this ministry. And we know that we take from this moment love and take it out into the world to share it with all life. We give thanks. And so it is. Namaste. Namaste. Thank you. Did you do this on purpose? Really? Wow. That's a good thing to do, right? If the universe wants to do something and we resist it, oh boy, God help us. Yeah. Oh, that's great. All right, let's see. Where do we go from here? If you'd like to donate flowers some Sunday morning, we'd love to have them. Next week, we have taken care of. We're going to be doing our Christmas thing next Sunday at Pro Arts. But in the future, if you'd like to bring flowers, we really love to have something live up here besides the three of us. Looks like two from my perspective, but it's three. And so there's a sign-up sheet in the back. Just pick a date, sign up, and let us know how you'd like those flowers to be donated or dedicated to. And today is a new member class right here at 12:30. If you're interested in being a member of Unity on Maui, please come back at 12:30. And if you're here earlier, we can eat together, and we'll start our fun class at 12:30. I decided to make it easy on you today, and it'll be mostly a discussion and to discuss what's true for us, what Unity believes, and it'll be a fun time together. So thank you for coming to that. That's right. You don't have to be a new member to come. Some people come sometimes just because they want to refresh themselves on what Unity believes and have a fun discussion with us. And I want to thank Coco and Mike for designing our new website. So it's the same place, unityonmaui.org. But if you go there, you see we have a refurbished website with many people that you know illustrated there. And it's user-friendly. It's really simple. Our walkie-talks and my talks are up on there. You can connect to Facebook or you can connect to YouTube to watch our videos. And so that's a lot of fun. I'm happy, really happy that that's great. And thank you, Mike, and thank you, Coco, for all you did to make that happen. Let's see what else. I just as the end of the year is upon us, Unity Church of Maui wants to put out to all of you that we are graciously accepting year-end gifts. And I know that many of you love us and love what we do, and your gift to us helps us to continue this amazing work that we get to do. And, I am proud to say that individually and collectively, we have helped the fire victims and donated money to many causes to help people's lives to transform into something better after the fire. And just so you know, also, Unity on Maui is a tithing nonprofit organization. And what that means is everything that you give, everything that we receive from our rentals, we tithe 10% on every cent that comes in. And we tithe to people and organizations that hold the vision of love and light as we do, and people that are making a positive difference in the world. So just want to give you a nice little reminder that our pocketbooks are open to receive so that we can continue this great work. And I know that as you give to us, you are participating in our mission and our vision for a world that works for everyone. So thank you. And next Sunday, if you come here next Sunday at this time, you're expecting a service at 10 o'clock, it ain't going to happen because we're taking Christmas Eve morning off. There'll be no service here on Sunday morning on Christmas Eve. However, there is going to be a service at Pro Arts Theater at 7:30 on Christmas Eve. That is December 24th at the Pro Arts Theater in Kihei. And that theater seats 110 people. So the first 110 people will get a seat. I don't know what's going to happen to the second 110 people that show up. But, we have tickets that look like this, and they're absolutely free, and you don't need one. But we have some that I made and Emily cut on the back table, and actually what you can use them for is something to pass out to your friends. It looks just like this image right here, and you can hand them out. It tells what it is, where it is, and what time it starts, and just kind of a subtle hint to people, because we don't like to be too heavy-handed around here, right? And give them a big poster or a chair or something to bring. So anyway, there's a stack of cards on the table. Please take some, but only take enough as you're really willing to go out and prophetize. That's a joke. Thank you. Soon you'll get it together where you'll know when to do that. So go out and prophetize. Go out and... Thanks, John. All right. So take a few and go out and proselytize. There we go. It's going to be a great service. We have Robin and John. We have a bass player, and we have Marianne and Ames will be back. And so we're putting together an amazing Christmas Eve service that's going to be phenomenal, and it's going to help you. Oh, and Virgie too. Yeah. Thank you. Virgie Cantorn is going to sing also, and this service is going to be so awesome that you're going to awaken to your spiritual brilliance. So, see you then. It's going to be it's going to be a great time. And hula! Oh my gosh! And hula!
So the service isn't in the morning; it's in the evening.
Yes, there's no service in the morning. It's only in the evening, 7:30 in the evening. Yeah. Yeah, and if you come, would anybody want to be here and do music and sing for the one in the morning if it happens? Nobody. So nobody's going to be here. You'll be singing with the birds. Yep.
The Robin bird with the other birds.
Anyway, if you enjoyed my talk today, the Walk Your Talk is on the back. It's a summary of the things I talked about. So please take one home and share it with your friends and family and put it on Facebook and YouTube and send it to the radio station. What the heck? You never know. Maybe we'll get some airtime. So anyway, and just in case you're wondering, the following Sunday, December 31st, our bowl burning ceremony is going to be here in the morning. We're not going to do, as we have in the past many times, a burning bowl ceremony at night. It's going to be during the Sunday service on December 31st. Right? Wow. Have we done everything? Anything else you want to say?
Thank you.
All right. Then if that's the case, why don't we stand and form a circle? And then when everybody's ready, we will say the prayer of protection, and then Robin and John will lead us in the peace song. Okay, you don't have to hold your hands yet. I know you're living to hold each other's hands because that's just the way we are here at Unity. All right, so let's say the prayer of protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. Thank you for being here.
Where I live, they're all raised.